Oh. Looks hyper red on there. Looks ridiculously red, in fact. There, it looks fine. Tacticast. Audio coming through okay? We have audio. Fantastic. How are the visuals? On my camera, it looks abhorrently red, but now on my screen, it does not look that red. How are we doing? How are we doing on visuals there? Looks good? Cool. Happy to hear it. I had to switch over to the camera because my computer was just not cutting it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, guys? So this is a little surprise podcast episode, if you will, or if you won't. We're doing a little impromptu. Jake is currently out of office. I don't have him to use or to make fun of him or for him to make fun of me in our podcast. So you guys get to be in the podcast with me. It's a fun little experiment. We'll see how it goes. Jizzy Jake's gone, dog. So let's get on some other topics. We're not going to talk about that guy. Do I need a drink for this? Probably. I'm not going to tell you no. You're an adult. How's everybody doing tonight? How's the night going? Or day, technically day. It's Friday. Friday's a good day. Good day is Friday. It's the end of the week. Weekend's around the corner. We're right here. We get to do hot boy shit. It's a good time, right? I enjoy my weekends, personally. Working, doing all the chores that I forgot to do during the week. But it's still a great fucking time. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the 10th anniversary sidecar. It's a sidecar. It's fascinating. Smoking a cigar? Hell yeah. That's what's up. That's rough, buddy. That is rough. Well, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth buffering. Goodness gracious, there are so many little problems going on right now. Video bitrate. All right, well, we're going to have to deal with it as is, but let's get some topics going. What do you guys want to talk about tonight? I'll let you lead. Are we still buffering? Are we still fucking up? Because if so, I need to switch some stuff up. Storefront's not open up yet. We're working on opening it up. It's on its way. We've got some other things that we're working on first, but it should be here pretty soon. You look fantastic from this angle. How about that? Should I buy a new 308 or should I just buy ammo? Well, that depends. Do you already have a 308? Do you already have a 5.56? Do you have a handgun to go along with it? Either way, I would say stock ammunition. Here's why. You're probably not actually going to grab your 308 if shit hits the fan. Sorry to tell you. Most people probably aren't. A lot of people like to say they're going to, but I don't think a whole lot actually are. The 5.56, the AR-15 is lighter. It's easier to wield. It's less recoil. You can carry more ammunition. And in a shit hits the fan situation, if you're reaching out past 700 yards, well, I don't know if you can PID what you're shooting at. Can you? That's a question for you to answer. I don't know why the screen is so small. I had to reset my computer a while back, so I probably just don't have the settings correct. Either way, I appreciate you for coming along and hanging out and making fun of my small screen. How about 300 black for shit hit the fan? If it was more readily available, I would say it'd be a fantastic cartridge for it. If you have a stockpile, maybe sure. It's a great suppressed round. That's what I think of 300 black. If you have it for a suppress 300 black, right? So it is ridiculously quiet. If you haven't seen the Grantham video on it, go watch it. It's a great video. They're shooting suppressed at distance and what it sounds like. If you have the capability and the means to maintain your storage of ammunition, let's say world does go to shit. There's a couple different scenarios with that. Are red parachutes dropping out of the sky, right? Are we being invaded? If we're being invaded, most likely you're going to be joining forces with those around you and everybody else has 5.56. Is it a scenario where it's civil war and there's people fighting people? Either way, everyone else that you're teaming up with is probably going to have 5.56. But it does have its use case scenario. If you have to do sneaky, goon shit in the middle of the night, I'd much rather have a suppressed subsonic 300 black than a 5.56. Just throwing it out there. And, the 30 caliber bullet hits a hell of a lot harder than a 5.56. But, trade-offs. Thank you, Travis. I agree. I think it's above average if you ask me. It's a super big screen. Yeah, I'm not really sure why it's so small, so I apologize. Story of my life. When will there be a clash with Lucas? Anytime. I'm ready. YouTuber boxing? That's become like a big thing. I think Brandon Herrera did one. I'm down. Lucas, you want to box, dude? Throw some fists? I'm down. Let's do MMA. It'd be way more interesting. Yeah, let's get in the cage. Who's down for that? Me and Lucas in the cage? I'm game. I think it'd be a good time. I'd be excited to see what he brings to the cage match. If he just run around in circles super fast. He's like, I'm so speedy. Look at me. Is it better to train with 22 or 5.56? 5.56 ammo is expensive. The best answer for that, if you can reliably train with 22, go train with 22. It's not going to be the same recoil. You need to mix in your 5.56. But for actually pulling the trigger, practicing reloads and such, it can be a good training tool working on those minor, muscle skills. Overall, 5.56 is going to be better because it's going to teach you that recoil management better. It is expensive. I kind of, in a way, I look at 22 training kind of like dry fire, but a little bit different, if that makes sense. Makes sense to me. Might not make sense to you. But really, does it need to make sense to you for it to make sense to me? I don't think so. What is in the pipeline for Tacticon that will be released next? Well, actually, here's one thing. A little sneak peek. It's a little FAFO flip-flop patch. It's the FAFO flop, if you will. I know that's not the next big product, but it's at least a patch. There's more to come with that as well. Maybe some real flip-flops. We've got a couple redesigns of some products coming on that I am spearheading, which is pretty cool. So you will be seeing some of our older products or some of our newer products even getting a little facelift, finding some features that were either pain points or things that could just simply be improved. We're going to be improving upon them. What would you say a good standard for pistol or rifle marksmanship? I tested the FBI to see how hard it was, and it was easier. For rifle and pistol marksmanship, do the X-ray alpha drill. Get your ass kicked. That's what I suggest. Do the X-ray alpha drill and see, is it the X-ray alpha CQB? Whatever. Look it up. It's pretty gnarly, and you'll realize what a shitty shot you are. I did. Work in getting extremely physically tired with your training. When you're huffing and puffing and your adrenaline's kicking in and shit's going haywire and your arms are tired, let's say, like, drop down, do a full workout, like at the range. Just try it. Do a hella burpees, go for a sprint, do some push-ups, get tired, and then shoot. And then realize how shitty it's gonna be when bullets are flying at you and you're not breathing because adrenaline is pumping through your veins. Suppressed or no suppressed? Concussion on business side of barrel for added disorienting elements, or suppression. Suppressor all day. I don't think, personally, in my opinion, you probably won't be too close to your combatants. I have never been in combat, so I can't speak to that. I'm assuming you're meaning with a rifle. And rifles, you'll generally be probably a little bit further away unless you're in a trench maybe. And at that point, I don't even think that the concussion is going to matter. Run a suppressor. It minimizes your sound signature. It minimizes your flash signature. Plus they're bussing. Shit's dope. Do you film your videos at a public range where I can take my boys? I film in a couple different locations. I film out in the woods. I've filmed out in Sac Valley shooting range, so you could take them there. Thoughts on the Flux Raider? I think it's cool. I like Grantham's idea of like keeping it in a backpack. I feel like there might be maybe a better solution. It's cool. It seems like it's a very niche product. Let's just say that. We all know it. It's very niche. Unfortunately, in the state where I'm at, I cannot legally possess it. Free men don't ask permission though. But it's niche. It's cool. It's a cool idea. I don't think I'd ever get one, but it's very cool. Oh yeah, I would absolutely wear flip-flops in the cage. Course, it's coming along. I'm trying my best. It's hard to keep up the content machine while also working on course material, so I'm working my little heart out for you, I promise. M81, it will be coming. It will come. What martial arts do you prefer to train, and how/what skills transferred over to firearms training? So my background is in Kenpo Karate. It's a hard style of Japanese martial arts. It is very much focused on, establishing a base and counterattacking. So block punch, block kick, things of that nature. A lot less flowy movement and much more hard impacts and things of that nature. My martial arts training really came full circle when I actually started doing breakdancing and started to learn kind of how to flow. The greatest thing that transferred over to my firearms training was simply the understanding of economy of motion, which is how to do the most motion with the least movement, if that makes sense. Get the most done while doing the absolute least. So if I want to grab my mag and put it in my mag well, figuring out how to make those movements as minimal as possible. Something as simple as that. Not only that, but understanding the biomechanics, how Haley Strategic likes to talk about the biomechanics. it really is important where your body's planted. There was a guy that commented on my stance video and said that none of this really even matters. The pros don't even do this anyway. Go to a competition, you won't see it. Sure, that's fine with what he's saying, and he's entitled to his opinion. And sure, maybe the pros don't do that. But there's a difference between combat shooting as well as sport shooting. And now I do believe there's a happy medium and there is a mixture between the both. There is something to be said about establishing a good base. These guys are running and tipping side to side and going as fast as possible, and I respect it. There's no disrespect there. They're amazing athletes to their own respect. But there is something different to fighting, and it's like you see in these sports martial arts. For example, there is something called XMA. It's called Extreme Martial Arts, and it's the stuff that you see in Las Vegas when they're doing all those big flips and they're dancing around and doing. It's dope. It's awesome to see. They're amazing athletes, but when you look at their stances and when you look at their foundation, they're bouncing around and they don't have a solid base. And so if they were to actually be hand-to-hand fighting, they'd be getting kind of moved around or wouldn't have a solid base to get their power from. Again, amazing competitors and amazing athletes, but there are just things that need to be twisted around in that. I'll never play with your emotions, Travis. Will you guys ever get into pistol cases like a Condition 1 or Pelican case? Maybe, if that's something that is very, very interested, then we could potentially do that. Push-ups till failure, hell yeah. How to maximize training with an AR-15 and preserve ammo. Do dry fire all the time. It's that simple. I hope that doesn't come across like I'm being a dick, but like really, that it is that simple. To preserve ammo and get as much training as you possibly can, dry fire. Or I think, I haven't personally used it. I would like to. Some people in the Discord have used it. The Mantis system, like the Blackbeard, or even getting a gas blowback airsoft gun. That's going to give you somewhat of a reaction to pulling the trigger. IFAX coming soon, hopefully, I believe. I don't know. I don't deal with shipping and stuff. You're an interesting looking person. Are you part vampire? No, I'm not part vampire. I'm pretty sure I was just dropped on my head as a kid. I'm the missing link, I'm pretty sure. Attaboy. Well, G-Ball, there are some things that you should ask permission for. Just a few. Sean Ryan show, great, fantastic. I love it. I personally can't watch it because my ADHD brain, like, it loses attention super fast. So he is very slow and methodical in the way he talks and how he presents his show. And I appreciate that, but for myself, I kind of get lost and I can't focus on it for too long. But I do like his show and I like what he's putting out. I've been thinking about getting into Muay Thai, and it seems pretty good martial art for self-defense. Muay Thai's good. This plays back into the video that I made about beg, borrow, and steal everything from all trainers. There is no one perfect martial art. And that goes with guns as well. There's no one perfect trainer. Clint Smith, an amazing trainer. Lucas, no matter how much we tease him, he's an amazing shooter. Haley Strategic, great shooter. Grand Thumb, amazing shooter. It goes on and on and on, right? There are amazing shooters and there are amazing teachers out there. Learn from all of them. And that goes along with like what I was getting at with the martial arts. Kempo Karate was amazing. Muay Thai is amazing. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is amazing. They're all great, but you should take bits and pieces and you should learn from each one of them and go, okay, that doesn't work, this does. Or this doesn't work for me, but this does. And it's taking the time and the practice to do it. What made you to decide to purchase your first gun? I'm American. But to expound upon that more, what made me decide? I grew up with firearms. My dad taught me to shoot when I was a little kid. It started out with a BB gun. Then he took me out shooting 22s. From there, shotguns. And then I got my first, got into shooting handguns. So my dad kind of like set me up for it potentially, but my first purchase was because my dad taught me the Constitution. He taught me what was right, and he taught me how to be a man. He taught me that my safety and the safety of my family is in nobody else's hands. It's in my own. And I can't rely on somebody else to take care of me or take care of them. They have to take care of themselves, and I have to take care of myself. But while I'm here, I can at least be a protector, and I can do that. And he taught me good morals. So I owe a lot to him, and that's probably what drove that. On top of, going from martial art to martial art and learning as much as I can, it was just the next evolution. The phrase goes, God made man, but Sam Colt made him equal. You can know everything with your fists. You could be the best hand-to-hand fighter in the world, but a 9mm is going to put you on your ass. You guys give me a little faith that there's real Americans in California still. There's a fuckload of real Americans in California. The problem is we're drowned out by these giant-ass blue cities, and the media only likes to cover the loud minority. There's always a loud minority, and it's always going to be put to the forefront of the government-controlled media. That's just the way it is. My hometown of Redding and Cottonwood, there are more good old boys just like me than you could possibly imagine. California has a lot of good boys in it, and they're just here because A, this is our home. We don't want to leave it. We love where we're at. B, we grew up here, and C, we got family here, and we don't want to leave. So there are a lot of good dudes in California. We're just also kind of, dealing with those shitty blue cities. Where's the pattern you made? I don't know what that means. What do I think of the CZ Shadow 2? I think it's dope. It's super fucking heavy, but it's dope. It's a good gun. Do you ever think about us? Yeah, I think about you guys all the time. I'm in the comment section constantly. I can't stop thinking about you guys. It's a problem. Fuck. Reese's Puffs, yay or nay? God damn it, I love Reese's, but the problem is they're made of such shitty fucking... They're made of such terrible, terrible ingredients. That's the problem. If the brand Justin's Peanut Butter, if they made peanut butter puffs, all about it. Have a good night, Travis. I have no idea about wearing a reverse flag patch on the front of your chest plate. I don't know if there's a proper way. Where are your products made? Some of them are made overseas. Some of them are made here. It depends on the product. Like all of our armor is manufactured right here in-house in our manufacturing facility. Our holsters are made here, things of that nature. We have like some textiles like the backpacks or the rifle bags that are made overseas. Muay Thai is awesome. Wrestling, BJJ, yeah. It's incredibly important to be proficient with your body. What was it? Socrates says no man has the right to be an amateur in the matter of physical fitness, and he's correct. And I like how he phrases that. No man has the right to be an amateur because we are all given a body to work with, and some of us aren't. Some of us are born with disabilities, and they can't even do it. And those of us that are born with functioning bodies, it's almost disrespectful to not learn what they're capable of to those people because they can't. You can. So you better do it. Will Tacticon get into individual AR parts? Probably. With our FFL, we're probably going to get into a lot more gun stuff here. I've got a couple ideas on my list. Definitely, we teased it before, but we're working on a 6.5/308 AR-10 that is the same profile and kind of dimension as an AR-15. We're going to be probably making an AR-15 as well. I want to work on making a long stroke piston kind of AR-15 design, very much similar to like what the Jackal's got going on, but I want to make it a sub-MOA gun, and also I want to make, this might be crazy, but I want to make a mil-spec, quote-unquote, 2011. It's very similar to how the 1911A1 back in World War II was extremely reliable because they had mil-spec, and dirt could be pushed around in there. It could go thousands of rounds without needing cleaning, and it could just chug, 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 chug. I kind of want to make a 2011 like that is super fucking duty reliable and isn't hand fit to where if one part breaks, you need to go ship the gun off. You could just buy a part and replace it. John Lovell's book is fantastic. I think he's an amazing writer, and I think he's an amazing human, personally. I've never met the guy. Maybe my opinions would change if we met in person, but from what he says, regardless of if you affiliate religiously with that, I think his morals are very much in the right place. Do ballistic helmets take as long as the armor to ship? I don't know, man. I apologize. Shipping is not my forte. How do I convince my wife a PVS 14 is a necessary purchase? Oh boy. Well, there's a couple solutions to this. Obviously, number one, you're going to have to get better at your dick game, because if you're having to convince her about this, well, you got to step up the bedroom game, brother. I'm just teasing you. I mean, if you can I think it's one of those things that's incredibly important to have. But convincing her, maybe make her watch a Garantham video where he talks about if you don't have night vision, you're dead. Maybe, I don't know. What would you do if Palestine protesters desecrate out war memorials on Remembrance Day? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. That'd be really shitty of them, wouldn't it? Do you know the Survival Sisters? I don't. I do not know the Survival Sisters. Uvalde was a wake-up call for me that made me start looking into start taking the Second Amendment seriously. You are absolutely right. Help is not coming. Police won't protect you. You are on your own. You are your own first responder. Yeah, it's bleak. It sucks to think that, but it's kind of true. That's why we have to create community. That's why we need to have like-minded individuals. That's why we need to have friends. That's why you build this community of strong individuals, strong males, toxically masculine males, quote unquote, that will have your back. I have people here who, in the drop of a hat, will show up to my door fully armed, ready to roll if I need. Like, it's that simple. The government is corrupt. We can't avoid that. Of course it's corrupt. It's run by people. People are corruptible, and power and money corrupt people every time. You got to think of it like this. The police, they're not, if shit hits the fan, most cops are probably going to go look after their families. They're not going to be looking after you. They're going to try and take care of their families, or at least that's what my mindset would go to, right? Like, the world's collapsing. Oh, time to protect my family. So yeah, you are your own protector. Absolutely. Thoughts on combat shotguns? I think they're cool. I think they don't really have much of a place anymore. I think they're more of a survivalist tool at this point. combat shotguns, maybe for CQB. I don't know. That's one of those things that I can't, really talk to because I haven't been in combat. I can use just some of my rational thinking from personal experience. I see them very much as a survivalist tool because loading shells is pretty easy. You can load shells with most anything. You can load a slug. You can load buckshot. You can load birdshot. You can breach doors with it. There's a whole lot you can do with a shotgun, whereas a combat shotgun, I kind of see it as like a single purpose tool, whether it's breaching or, buckshot for clearing a house maybe. Tacticon needs a dog mascot. We do have a dog mascot. He's my dog. Why do gun tubers like cats so much? I don't know. They're pussy people maybe. There's this new 2311 thing that came out that takes SIG mags. Yeah, there's one that takes Glock mags too. It's called the Platypus. Personally, I don't know how I feel about them. It's cool idea, I guess. I will buy that 2011. Thank you, sir. Thoughts on the Leviathan? Oh, hold on. Wait, I'll get to that one in just 1 second. I got a 9mm as my first carry, but relatives started to say carry a 45. Opinions. 9mm versus 45. This debate has been going on for forever. There's a really good meme about it, and it says 45 is better than 9mm, but 17 rounds of 9mm is better than 10 rounds of 45. You're going to carry more ammunition with the 9mm. With 9mm loadings, you're getting about the same quote-unquote stopping power. You're getting the same energy delivery out of a 9mm that you are about 45 loads nowadays. I know I've referenced Grand Thumb like 4 times already, but he's got good videos. I'm sorry. Fanboying a little bit. I'm not a fanboy. He's got a great video on the difference between 9mm and 45 and kind of showing how both of them flower out and the penetration from both. I love the 45. I do. It's, that's God's caliber. But again, 9mm, it's more ubiquitous. You're going to find more of it. And it's lighter. You're going to have more ammunition. It'll do great. Thoughts on Leviathan Group, and are you guys part of it? No, we are not part of Leviathan Group. I don't think we will ever be a part of the Leviathan Group because nobody can buy us. That's the cool thing about it. Our company is our sponsor, right? So Tacticon Armament, Jake's company here, that's what supports this whole thing. That's what allows us to do what we do. And we're not going to sell out to whoever wants us to make content for them. If people want to reach out and they want to potentially do something like as a collaboration, more than happy to do it. But we're not going to take money to put out whether it's false or fake information, and I'm not calling anybody with the Leviathan Group doing that. I'm just saying when there's a money incentive, there's a money incentive. So, definitely not. Stargazing with the PVS-14. That is a great point. Thank you, sir. Literal cringe, you're on it. PVS-14, go stargazing, she'll love it. Bug in and protect our community. Absolutely. Bug in, not out. Would you consider yourself a part of the Warrior Poet Society? If he would have me, absolutely. Even before I found John Lovell, that was part of my doctrine. With growing up in the martial arts, it was always mind, body, spirit. Find your center. Find what makes you tick. Find the spiritual purpose behind things, find the physical purpose and the mental aspect as well. So mind, body, spirit is kind of part of that warrior poet mentality. So I would consider myself part of it. Would you guys ever produce knives? We thought about it. Maybe if we can get it reliably done. I was talking about making them myself, but that's something that we would want to have a very strong, durable knife that, I don't know yet. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe. Yes, the newer podcasts will be added to Spotify. The only reason they haven't been is because I'm an idiot and I forget to do it every time. Why? Because normally I finish editing the podcast Friday, which I'm going to finish up with you guys in probably like 30 minutes here, and then I'm going to edit this because I'm also filming a podcast right now. So I'm going to take clips of that, put it together, make the podcast, and then finish up my day probably at like 7:30. So it's my bad. I'll absolutely get them up. I apologize. What were you for Halloween? I was a Sith Lord, bro. It was tight. Me and my girlfriend, we went to Disneyland for Halloween. Two of her friends from Australia were in the States, and they were going for Halloween, and she said, "Can we go too?" And I said, "How can I say no to that pretty face?" Take on the Springfield Echelon. I don't know. I've never even played with it. I'm happy guns. Here, I'll say something good about it first. I'm happy guns are starting to develop the fire control unit kind of development where there's a singular piece that is replaced, like you can swap out the grips, because that's always been a concern point to me, even though I've never messed up like a grip frame. But I like the modularity aspect of it. I think that's really, really cool. But then moving on, I think I don't know. I think it's been pushed really hard. I think there's been a lot of money put into it. I don't trust products that have, what are they called? I'm blanking on it. Admin had a video about it with a rifle. It's the campaign where companies give it out to a bunch of influencers and they all release the video at the same day. I don't trust products like that. I don't know why. Maybe it's just something in my own little monkey brain, but I don't. And then continuing on with that, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it offers anything that a Glock doesn't. You know what I mean? Like it's supposedly a little bit better. It supposedly has a better grip. I don't know. Just buy a Glock. Get really good with it. Throw some night sights on it. Throw an optic on it. Just get really good with a Glock. I hate to say it. I hate to be that guy, but it's really the fucking best. Yeah, sorry. Give me 1 second. I got to respond to said girlfriend. Okay. All right, I'm back. What's up with the Discord? Not enough threads. I don't know what that means. Discord's bussin'. Chest rig thoughts. What do you mean chest rig thoughts? Are you in my head? Do you know that I'm working on a new chest rig? Ooh. Little verbal teaser for you. Where do you guys shoot your videos out in the woods? Like you would like to know, Fed boy. Never letting you know, Fed boy. 45 is too expensive. They both cost the same. Yeah, 45 is pricey. Stash and sandals for life. So fun fact, I grow very little facial hair. I got this curse in my blood. It's not a curse. I have a lot of native blood in my my system, so I don't have a whole lot of facial hair. I'm not very hairy in general, to be honest, for those wondering. It's a lot of information you probably didn't need to know, but I'm like a hairless mole rat, basically. The video is not full size because I'm a fucking loser and I couldn't figure it out. Tacticon 2 to 10, maybe a Tacticon 2 to 10. I know we want to do 1 to 8, and then maybe like a 3 to 15, something like that. Do you play any games? Yeah, here and there. I try not to get too sucked into them. I can get really addicted to games really fast, so I try not to. Elden Ring, I slapped the shit out of that game. Ready or Not was a game that I was playing with my buddies. That's hella fun. Trying to think of one of the last ones I played. I don't know. They'll come out here and there, and I'll play a little bit, and I generally have to just distance myself so I don't spend too much time. I'd rather spend my time either, with my dogs, with my girlfriend, learning a new skill, something like that. But it is a good way to relax and unwind sometimes. Which fighting philosophy is better, Miyagi or Cobra Kai? I would need to remember both of them, to be honest with you. I'm blanking on it. Sorry. Boss Man is not in the house right now. You're listening from Australia. Hell yeah, brother. We'll do our best. You stay strong, you sick cunt. What brand flip-flops do I wear? I wear rainbow sandals. They've just kind of, they've been the sandals that I grew up wearing, so it just kind of stuck. I'm actually thinking about a detailed kit video here soon, so we'll get to that sooner than later. I'm trying to catch up on these comments. I'm so sorry. What's the highest capacity 2011 right now, or in 1911 it's a 45? 2011 will probably have the highest capacity because it's a double stack. On a plate carrier chest rig, do you store your AR mag? Put your bullets down in your chest rig or plate carrier. Any AR is a good starter AR. I don't know about that. Just get a PSA. I don't know why that would be a question at this point. Just get a Palmetto State Armory. They've done their work. They make a very good, affordable rifle. If you can upgrade parts as you go. You could buy an upper from, let's say this, right? You get an Aero Precision lower. Aero Precision makes great lowers. They have the M4E1, I think it's called. There's a little screw in the bottom that you can tighten that will put pressure against the back locking block, which will help relieve wiggle in your upper receiver. Get an Aero lower, finish it out, get an Palmetto or Aero upper, run that, shoot out your barrel, upgrade your barrel and bolt to like a Noveske barrel and bolt. You're going to be shooting sub MOA and you'll have spent way less money. So, thoughts on Taurus handguns? Don't get a Taurus when you can get a Glock. They've really upped their game with their new models. Maybe, sure. But I don't know why you would get a Taurus when you could get a Glock. Again, I hate to be that guy, but it's just true. Yeah, exactly. Grab one of the Palmettos with a cold hammer forged barrel. Or get a 500, sometimes you can get them for like $350. Get that $350 Palmetto rifle, doing good, shoot the shit out of that, and then buy a Noveske barrel with a Noveske bolt. Boom, you're in for another $500. You got an $800 rifle that could probably shoot sub MOA, because that's the most important part of the rifle, the barrel and the bolt. Everything else just kind of holds together. Buy a PSA dagger. I haven't played around with the PSA dagger, so I can't give too much on that yet. That's basically why I haven't said get a dagger instead of a Glock. Just throwing that out there. Hello Kitty Island Adventure is a great game, apparently. Thank you for that information. I have an HK VP9. Upgrade recommendations. I've been shooting a VP9 for most of my videos recently. The only thing that I could maybe suggest, I haven't upgraded it at all besides for I swapped out the backplate with one that doesn't show that little nub. I hate that. That's the dumbest thing in my opinion. I hate seeing the firing pin. I don't know why, it just drives me nuts. Maybe get the flat face trigger from, I think it's Lazy Wolf Customs or something like that. Something like that. I think the gun is perfectly adequate stock. It's a fantastic firearm. The only thing that I would change is the trigger shoe. I prefer a flat face trigger, that's all. Does Airsoft have any tangible benefits? It depends on what you're doing for Airsoft. If you're going out with a bunch of homies that are like-minded, sure, you can potentially have some tangible benefits from it. You learn some skills on, you know, if you're using green gas and blowback guns that have a limited round count, you're going to have to keep track of how many rounds you're shooting. So yeah, there's tangible right there. If you're playing like extreme, what's the word I'm looking for? Risk reward. Like if you guys set up like, hey, if you get shot, I don't know, you have to fucking do a workout or something. I don't know. Regardless, it can, but I wouldn't rely on it as a ultimate training tool, but it can definitely help with like CQB maneuvers. I learned a lot just playing some Airsoft with some homies that were in like-minded situation with me as we were going around. We were in a little kill house. I learned a lot about watching my corners very quickly and what I was doing wrong. I have no clue about 80%ers. Probably not, though. Thoughts on Shadow System? I would like to get my hands on one before I give a full opinion on it. I've heard they're a really good Glock, you know? I saw one for like $550 the other day. Mr. Guns and Gear posted on his Twitter. At that price point, I think why not, you know, just why not? It's an upgraded Glock, essentially. I like CZs because hipster. I like CZs because they're all metal and they don't fucking break. That's pretty cool too. Thoughts on Diamondback ARs? I don't know. I don't even know that brand. Ruger P95. Damn. How's about a piston rifle? Piston rifles are cool. Piston rifles are going to be heavier. They're going to be a little bit cleaner. But again, you know, I go into that same mindset. I'm like, I want a piston rifle. I want a long stroke piston rifle, whatever it may be. But in reality, the direct impingement system is so easy on the firearm, it's kind of hard to overlook that. As long as you take care of your rifle, like don't treat it like shit, your direct impingement gun will last you a very long time as long as it's properly gassed. It will last you an incredibly long time and stay very accurate. Just clean it. Just be an adult. Spray it down with some cleaner. Wipe it, slap some lube on that bitch, throw the bolt back in and you're good to go. I had so much fun shooting the Scary Spooky Skeletons short, but I also had the worst time shooting the Spooky Scary Skeleton short. The suit is kind of like a fleece suit, so it was like a full fleece onesie. I was wearing all of my clothes underneath it still, which was a huge mistake. I should have stripped down naked for that. But then the mask too, after a while, was like starting to get hot and like recirculate my old air. And so in that clip where you see me mess up the reload and just throw the rifle, That wasn't planned. I did that because I was so mad because I messed up that reload like 7 or 8 times because I couldn't see my peripheral. And I like just kept messing up that reload. So fun little fact. Tacticon night vision? Probably not. We might try and get night vision and just offer you the lowest price we can. But I don't think we'll be making it just because of how closely guarded it is, I guess you would say. Current opinion on LPVOs. I've never changed my opinion on LPVOs. I think they're great. I think it's much more practical to run an MPVO, a medium power variable optic, like a 3-12 with an offset red dot. But LPVOs are still great too. Iron sight coat witness height with pistol red dots. As long as you can see them, you're kind of good. Run suppressor heights, I guess. Yep, keep extra parts for your AR in your kit, BCG repair kit, and extra firing pin. Absolutely. I've heard reports of some guys overseas that just keep a spare bolt with them in case their bolt goes down. Granted, they're shooting their rifles probably more than us in much more dangerous situations, but like that's essentially what you would need to do. The AR is a cool platform because you can swap out uppers. You can buy 2 upper receivers and you're good to go. Like you can have a 300 black upper with your, you can just keep swapping uppers. People keep building out different guns, which is cool, but just swapping uppers is pretty cool too. Just throwing that out there. Any more LGBT trainings? Maybe. We might have one or more down the road, but we don't want to burn it to death. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work to make those videos with the puns and everything, and we have a great time, but sometimes like our FAFO series, sometimes you got to let the horse die. Just don't beat it to death. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, and we don't want to become the villain. What's the first step to organizing my neighborhood emergency response group? We talked about this in two podcasts ago, I think. The first step is just start talking to your neighbors. A great icebreaker is, hi, how are you? Just curious, the world's kind of weird right now. Do you have any plans? Like what are you guys thinking? The world's nuts, and I'm just trying to get to know everybody a little bit better in case something weird happens. Like I want to know that you can have my back, and I want you to know that you can have my back. I can have your back. Whatever. It's as simple as that. Start, maybe invite your neighbor over for dinner or go out and get a beer or something. And then you'll learn your neighborhood more and more and get those people together. Maybe it's just the group of men. Maybe it's their, whoever it may be, husbands and wives or, whatever. Get those people together. Start talking. Build that community. Know each other. Stay out of each other's lives for sure. Like don't get nosy unless you start getting really, really friendly and intimate with them. And then you can maybe do that. But just be like, I want to know that I can rely on you and you can rely on me. If the world goes to shit and there's lockdowns going on, people are trying to come for us, I want to know that you'll have my back, I'll have yours. We can protect each other. We can look after the neighborhood. We can protect our own. We have, let's say my energy goes out and you still have energy. We can work something out here. So that would be my suggestion. Just start by talking to them. We're all people. Red, blue, whatever, it doesn't fucking matter. We're all people. We all have opinions. All of us have assholes and nobody wants to see them. All right? Keep them to yourselves. But we're all people. All the same. The comments are horrific on the first LGBT training video of people saying that Jake is gay. Yeah, no, that's it's quite hilarious, in fact, how many people got really upset and they were like, obviously Jake is gay for making a gay joke. But, you know, c'est la vie. What are you going to do? You just got to laugh at it. I don't trust my neighbors. I live in the belly of the beast. Well, my friend, I've got some bad news for you. You need to move, unfortunately. If you don't trust your neighbors and you live in a shitty place, you got to get out of there. If you feel unsafe where you're at, you need to get out before you need to get out, if that makes sense. I understand that's difficult. I understand that takes a lot, and I'm not trying to make it sound like it's easy, but fucking figure it out. Because if shit pops off tomorrow, you're fucked. That's how it goes. You know, we carry guns because something might happen today. But as soon as you start talking about shit popping off tomorrow, people say you're paranoid. Weird thought process, right? Anyways. The owner of RMA tried to contact you guys on Instagram, but I sent you an email. They said they'd tell you, but I never got anything back. We never got a contact from them that I'm aware of. I remember he got into he tried to get into an insult match with Jake, a trolling match, and then got embarrassed and deleted his comments. But we have receipts of those. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just curious where that quote-unquote lawsuit is. That's where I'm wondering. Oh, I was told to bring this up too because somebody got feisty in the comment section. They were like, you're going to talk about RMA and talk shit about them, but you're not going to talk about ShotStop. I personally haven't even heard much about the ShotStop thing. I'm surprised it slipped under my radar for so long, but apparently they were importing Chinese plates and selling them as US made plates. That's fucked up. That's a straight up lie. Not cool. ShotStop, not cool. I want to learn more about that if that is true. I just don't know enough about it to comment on it. I knew more about the RMA situation. What's my opinion on Sons of Liberty Gunworks? I don't know. I've never shot one of their rifles. I've heard they're good. They seem like cool dudes from what I hear. Never talked to them. I'd love to shoot their stuff. Like if anybody's like in personal contact with them and they want to ship out a rifle for me to shoot in videos, I'd be more than happy to. My problem is I just don't buy a whole lot of guns. I normally just build out a rifle, shoot the shit out of it, and then rebuild it. I don't buy a whole lot of guns. I live in SoCal and not alone of my friends train. Not alone. Or they are so left-wing I can't mention guns to them. What should I do then? If your friends are so left-wing that you can't mention the Constitution, and not a lot. Oh, not a lot of my friends train, or they're so left-wing I can't mention guns to them. The simple answer is, if you can't talk to them about guns, they're not your friends. That's the harsh answer, right? That's the unempathetic answer. The better way to potentially go about it is you could talk to them about, apoliticalness, being apolitical. And this was a Discord comment as well. Talk to them about how politics doesn't fucking matter, where people and politicians suck. Politics is used to separate us, Democrat, Republican, whatever you want to call it, far left, far right, they all suck. What's important is the Constitution, individual freedoms, and liberties. People being able to live out their lives peacefully and find the pursuit of happiness. That is what matters. It doesn't matter anything else beyond that. So part of that is being able to say what you want, even if it hurts people's feelings, and being able to protect yourself and be secure within your own house. Those are the most important things, period. right? So maybe start from that aspect and just work into that. Just be like, hey, I know we have different ideas, but maybe we can try and find a bridging gap here, right? We can bridge the gap and we can talk to each other about this. Maybe I can take you out shooting. Maybe you can try it. Maybe, who knows? I just don't really associate with people that are that into politics. If people are really in that political zone where they're like, I hate Republicans or I hate leftists, I'm just like, kind of stay away from me. I think there are extremists on both sides that ruin it for everyone. If your neighbor doesn't have your back, then just use jujitsu and take their back. I like that. 14.5 pin and welded or an 18-inch on an AR build for a go-to rifle. Ooh, they both have their merits. Personally, for my own personal use, again, I think 14.5. 14.5 or a 16-inch. It's really great. I personally like the 14.5 a little bit better. It's just that an inch and a half shorter, which is a whole lot of inches. Am I right, ladies? And that allows you to maneuver it a little bit better. It feels a little bit more wieldy in my hands, at least. I prefer it to a 16-inch. It can still reach out to, I want to say, 700 yards if done right. So I don't see myself needing to reach out that far. I've only reached out to about 5, maybe 6 with an AR, and that was not range found. I definitely reached out to about 450 range with a rangefinder, and I could never see myself really actually needing to go past that unless I was, conscripted and they were like, hey, we need to go fight these people right now, potentially. But even then, it'll probably still be an engagement within like 300-400 meters. 113,000 subs. How do you and Jake feel? We feel like the happiest little boys in the whole wide world. No, it's super duper cool. We're very appreciative to every single one of you guys that is subscribed, that is along the way with us, that comments. We try and get to as many comments as we can. We appreciate you guys. Everyone that's supporting us, that's with us. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting some acid reflux from all that pizza I ate earlier. Yeah, we're just very appreciative to all you guys. 380 or 9mm for women? 9mm. 380 is like a shittier 9mm that sucks more. Imagine 9mm that's shitty, but then it sucks more. That's what I think of 380. Just get her a 9mm. It's not that difficult. Especially with the SIG 365. That's, regardless of the problems that it had, or that it has had, it's a really fucking good gun. It really is. The 43X, also a great gun, or the Glock 43. 9mm is just a superior round to 380. It's one of those things. What is RMA and this? I don't know. RMA is an armor company. I don't know what and this is. Those who are that sensitive are on the wrong channel. Let me redirect you to T-Rex Arms. That's good. That's funny. I appreciate the humor there. That's good. I sent you an email with his Instagram message and your company said they'd send it to you and I can send it to you direct. I'm not taking sides, just saying I don't trust anyone in this stuff. That's fair. Maybe it's in my email. I haven't gotten anything yet. I don't check my work email much, so that could be that. Let me check right now for you, in fact. Nothing that I'm seeing here. Perhaps they just haven't gotten it to me yet. Send it to me directly on Instagram via Instagram DM. I'll take a look at it. Do y'all keep mag bullets up or down in your plate carrier as a preference? Keep them down. You don't want dirt and stuff getting on your mags or on your bullets. When will you do a video on footwork? I look constipated when I shoot and move. I made a short on it. That might help. It's on our YouTube channel as well as the Instagram. That might help. I've got an older video on how to shoot and move that I made, but I should probably revamp it. I've just been in this short role, just wanting to get content done in like a minute segment. Maybe that's not helping my ADHD, but who knows? Maybe I'll make a little bit longer one for you. What do you think about bore sighting? I mean, if you can do it reliably, that's fine, but I zero my guns out to like anywhere between 50 to 100 meters, so bore sights don't really work for me that well. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Yeah, getting to know your neighbors is super important. It's all about community, you know? We are close to nothing without our community. One man can accomplish a lot, but 5 men can accomplish almost anything. You know what I mean? It's quite incredible. Mag up if empty, mag down if loaded. I don't know about that. I would just put your mags in a different spot if they're empty. I got an email saying I won from the 100K video. Is it legit? If it's from Jason at Tacticon.com, Jason Ward, yes, it is. He was supposed to include a video with it that I made to confirm for you guys, but I don't think he did. Thoughts on S2 Underground? I don't know. I've watched some of his stuff. I don't know my full opinion on it just because I don't know where he's getting his information from. I haven't looked into it enough to care, or I haven't cared enough to look into it, I guess I should say. He seems like he puts out some very good information from what I can tell. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just always leery of people on the internet, if that makes sense. No matter who it is. You always gotta, like, credit them first. Like, what are they doing? What are they trying to give you? Especially with so many psyops going on nowadays. I watched a video recently about, what's her name? Haley Lujan and the psyop thing. This guy goes into it. He doesn't confirm or deny if Haley is actually a psyop, but he goes into the government programs that confirm the use of psyops, and, you know, it's pretty dark. So with so many psyops out there, it's interesting. But he seems to put out a lot of good information. I don't watch him too often. I try not to watch too much stuff because I'll get sucked into that rabbit hole. So I've got this problem. I've been trying to take a photo of me on my roof with my kit, but I don't want to scare the neighbors. I'm Korean and I feel I have to have a roof Korean photo. Help. You don't. You don't need to have a roof Korean photo. The roof Korean photo can be in your heart. Did Jake have a date with Bud Light? No, that doesn't make sense to me. What's your Instagram? It's Tacticon Armament. There is a fake one though, so be careful. The fake one has 2 eyes in the Tacticon. Yeah, I wasn't saying Haley Lujan was great to watch. I was just saying that she's a psyop. Wake up. Wake up. She's a psyop. Wake up. I love that meme. After your last short about your draw ethics from Appendix, do you have any for us shoulder carry FUDs? I don't really shoulder carry, so no. But what is his name? Masad Ayub has a good video on shoulder carry draw. Again, it comes back to what I always will preach. Learn the basics, practice them, practice them, practice them, practice them. You don't have to be fancy about it. The appendix draw is the appendix draw, right? It's shirt up, hand on gun, pull out, present, shoot. You do it to perfection. Same thing with a shoulder draw. It's probably going to be arm up, grab underneath, undo whatever's going on, pull out, present. So just learn the correct method and then practice it to death. S2 Radio stuff is legit. I'm sure it is. I just haven't watched a whole lot of his stuff. Well, if I do pull off the Roof Korean photo, will you send me a Tacticon sticker or patch? Maybe, depending on how good it is. If you DM it to us and I deem it worthy, maybe. Should Matt of Demo Ranch be building a compound for his militia? Isn't he already doing that? I'm pretty sure he already has that. Okay, so again, Modern War II Ghost Erp. That is the fake account. It has 2 eyes in the, if you look, the Tacticon has 2 eyes. That's a fake account. You have to type in Tacticon_armament. We will pop up. Yes. Our logo is black and bronze. You mean I'm not going to score with that chick in the army? Anything's possible, bro. Never give up hope. Never give up hope. What are we doing with our lives if we are watching this live stream? You're taking a minute from the cold, cold, dark world and enjoying a small little piece of bliss. Oh, you need to, I get you. I need to accept the DM is what you're saying. What's your, I'm not seeing it. What's your Instagram handle? Searching. I got it. I see it. I will look for it, okay? I promise. I'm going to keep going on this, but I will look for it. Exactly. When you carry your 9mm with extra mags, 21 rounds, my SIG piece 365 Spectre comp, and that's 31 rounds of 9mm. Sometimes lose a few extra rounds count. Yeah. That 9mm ammo capacity is generally going to be better. It's going to recoil less. It's, you know. Hey, you know, I try, and I'm happy that you think it's valuable information. Sometimes I think I'm just autistic. How long have we been going on this bad boy for? Holy cow. Been going on for a hot minute. All right, boys, let's wrap her up here in a minute. What are you guys thinking? Any more questions? Any more thoughts and concerns? lukewarm minute. Lucky Gunner. I like him. I've watched a lot of his stuff. He puts out very, very detailed information, so I do appreciate that. Send me the question, dog. Tell me what you want to know. Who does your production? Like our production people? Did you really say pull it out? I don't know. Probably. Sometimes I just talk and I forget. Facts. Good point. Have the lead times for body armor increased? I believe the lead times for ceramics and composites have. We are backlogged right now on those, but we're still churning them out. Yes, it would. If you bought the backpack, it would be compatible. What are my thoughts on the Dirty Civilian channel? I haven't watched a whole lot. Their video production is phenomenal. I think their production is phenomenal. Again, it's one of those things kind of like the Sean Ryan show. They just kind of talk and I kind of lose interest. That's just me though, and that's nothing against them, and I'm not saying they're boring. I just lose interest very fast, mainly because I've already kind of conceptualized most of what they've talked about. So personally for me, I just don't watch their stuff. Maybe I should. I should probably sit down and watch it, but I find myself editing more than watching videos these days. The 2A company training that Jake talks about, soon. He's got it pretty much all scripted. It just needs to be filmed and edited at this point. So it's almost perfectly done. He's had to lay the groundwork for a lot of that business. Between setting up websites and servers so that no one can take him down no matter what. That if the powers that be are like, nope, we don't want this anymore, he can just give a big middle finger to him and say, hey, fuck you, we're going to keep running. Bank accounts, all sorts of different stuff that he's had to sit down and make sure that's running correctly before he even gets to the course. So it's coming soon. It's coming soon. It comes. Edge-to-edge armor anytime soon? Yeah. I mean, you can buy composites. They're edge. Well, hold on. What do you mean by edge-to-edge? Because, like, technically, RAR 500 and 600 is edge-to-edge as well. Chest rig restock. Hopefully soon. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to release our backpack in multicam. Do you recommend adding texture on a pistol grip? I'm trying lizard skin, but it isn't wowing me. Maybe. I just wrap hockey tape around it. I like the way it feels. It gives a little extra squeeze to it, but other than that, not really. Handle it grips make some good stuff. I haven't used any on pistol grips, but I've used it on like pistols, on handguns. They work really good. I like their rubbery texture. Are your local cops pricks? I don't know. I don't deal with law enforcement a whole lot, so I couldn't tell you. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm sure there's a lot of good ones, and I'm sure there's a lot of bad ones. Just like people. Ceramic edge to edge, your company said that yours aren't. I'm not sure what customer service has necessarily said. I'm not sure what we are allowed to label it as. because technically with almost all ceramics, from my knowledge, most and or if not all ceramic composite plates are technically not true edge-to-edge protection. Just based on how the material captures as well as morphs and delaminates as the bullet enters the material, it can potentially veer off and kind of go through. Where with steel, if it hits the very edge, it's going to obliterate that bullet. It's going to smush and, fragment outwards, and hopefully all of it will be caught within the fragmentation coating. Edge shots are a little bit more difficult because there's so much pressure in the edge there, but the armor video that I filmed shooting our AR600 steel, I did a end comparison with edge shots with one of our SRT plus plates, shooting green tip at it, and I was shooting very close to the edge, a couple millimeters on the edge, and it was capturing it. So while I might not be able to say it's edge to edge, from my testing, it is. I feel like I can say that. I don't know, maybe. I don't know if a Flux Raider will fit in the Battle Pack light sling bag. I don't know. Maybe. I broke bread with many of our LEOs, great folks. Most cops are. I like to believe that most people are genuinely good. I like to believe that. Do you hunt? I've been hunting. I don't currently hunt, but I would like to start hunting some more. Sure. Go ahead, Tony. Go ahead and DM us. I can't guarantee anything, so don't get your hopes up. I've never shot AAC ammo, so I couldn't tell you. Yes, there are. Thank you for bringing that up. There are different types of hockey tape. I use just standard hockey tape that you would wrap around the stick handle, not anything that's like sticky. I don't like sticky things. It's probably my autism, don't like it sticking to my hands. But I just wrap it in normal hockey tape. I feel like it gives a good grip. Yeah, we'll go ahead and end on this because I feel like this is a good little, and sir, you shouldn't be editing. Probably not. This is probably a good thing to end it on. Just wrap it up. The difference and the pros and cons between steel and ceramic, it goes on forever. The main con with steel is you're going to have fragmentation at some point. The frag coating will only last so long. If you get steel from a reputable company like us, like I think Spartan Armor makes pretty good steel, their fragmentation coating, as well as ours, is sufficient. It's going to capture that fragmentation. It's going to be heavier than ceramic, but it's going to also have full edge-to-edge, like we were talking about earlier. It's going to last technically, quote-unquote, infinitely for the rounds it's rated for. The fragmentation coating might wear off, but it will continue to stop the bullets. Where if you take two green tips and stack them one on top of the other, With a quick double tap, you could probably get a pen from a composite ceramic plate. You see my point here? Ceramics are going to be lighter, they're going to be more expensive, they're technically quote unquote safer, but again, then you face the same thing of penetration, right? People really like to bring up the fragmentation argument when they talk about steel. They say, oh, you're going to run steel, you're going to get frag in your throat. That's not the case. It's just not the case. If a freak accident were to happen where it shoots, it hits the very edge, you're shooting a 308 or something, hits the very edge and fragmentation comes out, most of it's probably going to be slowed down by the carrier. On top of that, it's going to go up, it might give you a little cut. I doubt it will fillet your throat open like people are saying. And even so, if you were wearing ceramics and it got hit at that point, you're probably dead anyways, because of the way ceramics and composites work. Now, that being said, it's a pro and a con. It's up to you to kind of decide. We've got a lot of videos out there for you on the pros and cons of armor. Look through our page. We have what I like to think are very good videos, kind of breaking it down and digestible. So, you know, take a little sneak peek. Go see how you like them. What ammo do you shoot for the range? The cheapest stuff I can find, except for steel. I don't like shooting steel case. Shit weirds me out. Skateboard grip tape will work. That's like the Talon stuff or handle it grips. Yeah. Ballistic tip hollow point rifle round really hurt that coating. I don't know. I haven't shot a whole lot of hollow point at it. Hollow points are designed to kind of disperse their energy inwards and fillet outwards rather than, you know, penetrate. So I would assume it would do less. It might take a little more of a chunk, but I think it would do less damage. I don't know. I want to test that now. Thank you. Alrighty, boys, one last question, and then I'm going to end this up. Who's going to be the lucky little duckling to have that last question? No one? No one's going to be the lucky little duckling? Oh, come on, you got to have better questions than that. What holster do you carry? You silly goose. How gay is gay? It's a good question. I don't know. Blackbeard, Milsims, that's weird questions you're asking. I don't like them. Stop asking how much you can sell guns for, especially on the internet. Okay. All right, so to wrap this up. All right. Bye-bye. You've been timed out. Sorry, I don't want you asking how much you can sell guns for here. I told you once, I won't tell you twice. That's just the way it is. Boys, I like my steak cooked medium rare. Thank you. That will be the last question. Thank you guys for coming along. I appreciate the questions, helping me make this little podcast, impromptu, what's it called? Live stream. My brain is failing. I appreciate all of you so very much for being a part of this. You will most likely see this tomorrow. Me kind of going into this. Fucking love you guys. Stay sexy, stay safe, stay dangerous. Become a fucking Chad. Be an absolute unit. Deuces.